Hello, anyone and everyone who might be watching this on YouTube. Welcome back for episode 7 of this Rimworld Let's Play. For anyone who watched episode 6, you might recall Zack being, well, clubbed to death in a way by one of the traps over here collapsing. He's been interred over here in his little tomb. He's got his little knife that he always carried around with him. Now, yes, I felt like it needed to be done, but there was another reason I put Zack over here in a tomb rather than over here in a grave. Beyond just, well, feeling that's what he deserved. Like I've said before, colonists, they have different activities they can do for joy. One of these joys is visiting graves. If it's a stranger in a grave like one of these, they don't get a huge joy boost from it. If it's a person they knew and in a nice tomb with a good sarcophagus, they get a quote-unquote joy boost, even though I feel like they should be sad, but they're remembering all the good times they had in the month or two leading up to Zack's unfortunate accident. So, well, plans for this episode, we are probably going to start digging out a little animal area over here. This little area right over here. We already got hay growing, so that way once we eventually do get animals, we will be able to, well, feed them, which is incredibly important. So I'm going to unpause it in just a sec, and we're going to get going. So, I guess me explaining it like that kind of made it seem like I was a bit heartless in some ways when I came up for my reasons of burying Zack, but, well, he needed that. Anyone else who dies will be buried in similar little tombs along this mountain range. We also got Jumper, a teacher who came and joined, kind of to replace Zack, to have her come in. We had to fight some people off. We killed them, stripped them, took their stuff, waiting to be hauled in, and we buried them over here by the first guy to ever attack us, which was, I forget which one of these. Our devil strand's coming along nice. We can either turn that into crops, or we could actually turn that into clothing and then potentially sell that and things like that. That reminds me, we have cotton growing, which has been turned into cloth. And I believe I mentioned last time, eventually clothing will degrade. So what we're going to want to do is build a tailor's bench out of steel, because we have a ton of that. Just going to put it down right here. And then we're going to find our best tailor and have them just making some various pieces of clothing. And like Jubia here, already went and put on somebody else's duster that came off a dead person, because it was a good quality clothing. They liked it. And that's what will happen if we build a silver tailor's workbench. That probably just costs us some of our silver. And we actually just ran out of survival meals. So we are now running off the nutrient paste dispenser. Probably lost a lot of silver building that too, which kind of hurts. Now we're building a steel one. Okay. You know, now we're out of survival meals. I'm going to go to the zones here. Delete a little zone right here. Put in a new one. I'm going to copy the settings from this zone into here. But then I'm going to take off raw food, actually, and corpses. Put on meals. That way, I'm actually going to set up a cooking bench. Now, because we have a nice little collection of people. We can afford to have somebody cooking full-time now, or part-time anyway. So we're just going to set up a little stove inside of here. And then I'll give them a bill of different things to cook and stuff like that. Tailor bench is up. We've got some good tailors, which is nice. So, yeah, that'll work. We're going to put everyone back on regular priorities. T-shirts and pants are important. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that to we have 5. Currently we have some in the stockpile from people who raided us, stuff like that. Then after those, I'd say having jackets of some kind would be the best, because it does get cold in the winter here despite it being a desert. It just means there's little vegetation. Doesn't mean it's warm all the time. Now we have our cooking table. Because we actually do have some meat, we could do fine meals. They take a little bit of meat, a little bit of regular food, and produce a meal that gives actually a mood boost, or a mood boost. But we can cook simple meals, take the same amount of food. They can do animal, meat, vegetarian, stuff like that. Set the radius kind of low so they get around here. Now for chefs, we've only got Kirumi, who's a good chef there. We've also got Miharu, who's a decent chef. What I'm going to do is, this should be both fine for cooking, and we're going to set it so we have a stockpile of 20. They come in stacks of 10. We can put 10 in each of these. Now, colonists won't get a mood boost either way from eating a simple meal, but they won't get the negative boost or the negative penalty from eating a nutrient meal. So it doesn't boost them any, but it keeps them from going down. So you could see it as a boost. And look at that, we've already starting to make some t-shirts. I got a bulk goods trader. The nice part about making clothing is if the quality of it, which is the normal, and the durability of it, which is the percentage, if you've got something better, the colonist will automatically switch to it unless you otherwise set uniforms for them. So like Charlotte, she went and picked up a camel hair duster, even though it was falling apart because she felt like she needed a jacket. Even people who, like Anna, who are nudists, they will automatically pick up clothing unless you tell them otherwise. It gives them a little bit of a mood penalty, but it can help a lot. If it's cold, if they have defenses, because even a cloth shirt gives some kind of defense. Have Vivian go check out the trader. Probably gonna keep this bit of plasteel just because. Well, I say that. Ooh, alpacas, capybaras. See, that's why we need to set our animal pen up. So I'm gonna go ahead and start planning that out. I'm gonna mine these little bits out because I'm OCD about that kind of stuff. And while they're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and cancel that mining. Simply because they'd take forever to mine out this plasteel. Well, I'll go ahead and assign any that they've started digging on. Should be just that one and that one, yeah. And so then they'll mine that out, and then we'll dig our little animal pen into here. The reason I want to kind of do an animal pen is because we can't really have them roam any, because there's no crops for them to eat. And I'd rather keep them safe inside. Don't have to worry about them catching hypothermia, heat stroke, temperature control the area, and just different stuff like that. Now, if I had to pick an animal, I want to pick something that would always be producing some sort of resource. Preferably chickens, because always producing eggs for food, and if need be, you can kill them for meat and stuff like that, and they reproduce pretty quickly. Alpacas would probably be a second choice. They produce, if I remember correctly, milk, wool, and you can kill them for food if need be. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to do... what's the size of a regular standing lamp? Well, doesn't really have one. I'm kind of going to dig the same little sort of area into here. Which I remember correctly, it is 5 by 11s. Five by 11. And in that little area right there. So they're going to go mine this out once I set up the job for it. And that'll give us time for the wall to build the climate control little center. I'm going to have them... we can just run power right here. So we don't have to run a whole line all the way from up there. That'll work. And this will be where our animals stay. I think it gives us room to branch off another growing zone from up here. I just want to make sure of that before they really start mining into that in earnest. Kind of OCD about that sort of stuff. I messed this up, didn't I? Yeah, hang on. So this should be 5 by 11. That's 5 by 11. Okay, so I do have another room to put a growing zone in there. I actually have room for 2. Yeah, I could probably just daisy chain them in, connect them to the animal one. Keeping it as enclosed as possible would be good in the event we ever had a volcanic eruption, which means ash would start falling everywhere, the temperature would drop, or a toxic fallout where literally going outside would kill us, and we'd have to basically wall ourselves up indoors. So we'd want to get like this walled in real quick, a quick tunnel built to here, stuff like that. Pirate merchant. Actually, does Jumper have... Jumper is at 8, Vivian is at 9. So no, Vivian is still better at talking to people. So we're going to go talk to them. They want to buy these little cheap weapons we picked up, and they want to buy these little armored vests we picked up and the weapons. I am actually going to sell them all to them, if only because these weapons are horrible. We have no guarantee that they would, because they're shoddy, they would fail, jam up, stuff like that. And they have really nothing else we want. So they're just going to send us a little bit of silver. A little over 100. Got Charlotte and Vivian building the power line. Might set more people on mining. No, I think we're good. And they'll start mining all this out. Like I said, the way I have it is people who, if you can't mine, you haul on. If you can't haul, you mine. So you've usually got always something to do. We got our meals: rice, scarab meat, and potatoes. And potatoes, berries, and scarab meat. So, nutritious. If you did see though, when I looked at the information for it, it's got a nutrition value, which is how much basically it'll fill them up. Then it's also got a joy value, gluttonous. They get a little bit of joy from eating. The better the meal, a little bit more joy they get. If you're lucky, you can also get cargo pod drops or merchants. Ooh, we've hit some steel. You can get chocolate and stuff like that, which provides very little nutrition, but it gives a big joy boost when they eat it. They just eat a lot of it. Our devil strands come in nice. That's just going to make some really good clothing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disallow devil strand. Actually, I'm going to disallow hyperweave, devil strand, and synth thread. That way, if we ever get any of these high-value materials, they won't just immediately run off and start making things with them. I want to hold on to them, maybe make some few dedicated things with them, 1 or 2 sets of clothing for a good person. Because devil strand, hyperweave, and synth thread all provide far more protection from the elements and from weaponry than otherwise normal things would do. I just realized it's actually getting cold, and these little it's actually too cold now, because now it's starting to become September. Oh, got a raid. And they are attacking from this side, which means time to get to the defenses. So let's see, we got Kiku's gonna go there, Annabelle, no, I'm saying that wrong, Charlotte, Vivian, that's our 3 gunners, 4 gunners, Jubia, Miharu, and Jumper. Well, you're basically going to be the person who drags people out. Well, you know, I said they'd be going down that way, but it looks like they are not. They are going to take, because there's no wall blocking this route, they are actually going to walk all the way around here and face the fire of this heavy turret, rather than come down here and try to bust through this one gate and face the, what would have been 3 at the time, but now 4 guns and 2 people with knives. So, well, not so much of a raid as pigs to the slaughter. Lambs to the slaughter. Whichever way the saying goes, y'all know what I mean. Turret's going to work. Already killed 1 of them. Killed 2. Killed 3, actually. 4. They're trying to flee through here. 5. And 6. They all got wiped out. What do you know? Undraft my people. I'm going to go ahead and have the turret kill that Mega Scarab, just that we can go bring that in for meat. Strip, strip. Ooh, a superior bow. I normally don't use bows. They can be decent, but they've got such short range, so it's really hard to use them against anyone but other tribals, because try to use them against a pirate and they'll usually just outrange you with a real gun and blow your head off. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 graves. We're going to need to dig 4 more. Eventually, I do need to get cremation. Otherwise, we're going to start having a lot of graves here. I can kind of jerry-rig it if I had like a Molotov cocktail, or I'd kept those grenades. I could just blow it all up. Just destroy the bodies completely. They're digging the graves, stripping the people down. See, sometimes people carry meals. That can be a nice little way to supplement food. And you know, if we were... Oh, see, Jubia is now upset from observing corpses and is wearing some worn-out apparel. So she saw the people die. She had to work with them a little bit. She didn't like that. And suffered a little bit of a mood hit from that. It'll go away quickly. Really, though, it's the cold we need to worry about. Because these little rooms of theirs are going to start getting really, really cold. And they're not made really to be heated in any appreciable fashion. So we might want to actually start working on some more permanent solutions. There is another way. We could build these little medium heaters inside the rooms. They take 170 steel each. Truthfully, we do have enough. Actually, I might have a better idea. Let's see. What we could do is we could build a heater in one room, and then build a series of active vents that move heat into the next room. Actually, for the main room, we will just use, let's see, orange side must be facing towards the room that you want to control. Bam, 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 bam. So that's a little bit cheaper than having to build vents. And I'm actually going to build a couple more heaters just for this room. That's what I was hoping for. See, it's starting to warm these rooms up some. That'll stay warm, that'll stay warm, that'll stay warm. That'll warm up. It's not the same as building heaters in the rooms themselves, but it's a little bit cheaper, and see, these only need 5 power, where the heater fluctuates between 20 and 200. So that's a little bit better than, well, building heaters, especially steel-wise. It's far cheaper. Even if we did just hit this really nice little steel vein. I think that's going to be about it for this episode. In the next one, we'll finish getting our little animal area set up. We probably going to mine out the rest of that steel, even though it's going to drive me crazy because this won't be symmetrical. That can be, I guess, where we store the hay in a little cooling zone. But, well, thank you for watching, everybody. See you in the next episode.